The SEC pauses the conversion of Bitwise 10 crypto index fund into an ETF, which of course included Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and so on, and not longer after issuing its approval. So this is something a lot of people are discussing within the crypto communities. Do let me know in the comments down below what you guys think and why this has been paused by the SEC. But welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the XRP holders. Thank you for all the love on a day-to-day basis. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you're looking across the board, going into Tuesday morning, you're starting to see the market picking up over the course of the last 1.5 hours. We are starting to see the broader market going into green. But even if you're looking at it on a 24-hour time frame, you are still seeing the broader market in a bullish trajectory. Yes, not double-digit gainers for every project, but we are seeing a lot of green rather than red, which of course is always a positive when we are taking a look at the market. So XRP's price $3.47, up about 0.2% in Bitcoin comparative. Valuation sitting at $205.5 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $6.3 billion. But as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. A very, very big confirmation once again, for altcoins. ETF flows. We know we talk about ETF flows every single day. Around 68 million of Bitcoin were actually sold, while 500, so more than $500 million, of Ethereum were bought on July 22nd, which was yesterday. We're continuing to see record number of inflows coming towards Ethereum. That tells you, of course, a lot of people are projecting to Ethereum to see upside, and Ethereum has been seeing upside. Take a look at it on the weekly time frame. We're looking at a 20% increase almost, and of course on the monthly time frame, a staggering 64%. And we're talking about the second largest asset in the crypto space. But when you're talking about Ethereum, we always need to keep in mind about XRP, because XRP is by no means, being lag behind Ethereum. XRP is doing amazing, and if you kind of compare in terms of performance, obviously it's outpacing. Of course, we need to keep the valuation aspect in mind, but take a look at it on a yearly perspective. You'll see a major difference. XRP has gone up quite substantially. We talk about whether or not XRP could take over the second spot. No one imagined that happening back in 2018, and we briefly saw that happen. What makes us think, with all the regulatory clarity coming towards the industry, and a potential ETF that could, go live for XRP, that could, I think, change the entire landscape. And we're talking about a working product. And of course, with tokenization being at the forefront of the financial world, remember the XRP ledger could really, take a huge chunk of that, demand that would come into, tokenization, which we're already starting to see, and of course, stable coins and, payment solutions, so on and so forth. So the puzzle pieces are aligning, and this is where the excitement really comes in. But take a look at this. Institutions are eyeing tokens beyond just Bitcoin and Ethereum, like I just stated earlier, namely XRP. The index fund conversion, along with the GDLC conversion, marks the first crypto ETFs outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, a major milestone. And of course, you could see this is talking about what we have just discussed earlier in this update. But this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Samson Mao, says the real bull market hasn't even started yet, and thinks Bitcoin can go up to $500,000 to $1 million in the next 12 months. Quite a bold prediction, quite a heavy prediction, for BTC. Again, if that were to happen, that would be insane. That would be complete madness. But historically speaking, bull market should come to an end sometime this year, as far as history is concerned. But of course, there's a lot of analysts that have been obviously keeping Bitcoin, crypto, into their analysis over the course of the last decade. A lot of analysts are, projecting that the 4-year cycle is done. But I've emphasized on my channel every single time whenever we come across that specific statement, I still think the 4-year cycle is not done. I think we're still going to see the broader market being impacted by the bear market. We're still going to see a lot of altcoins, a lot of meme coins, plummet quite sharply. So this is why, we want to be locking in profits. But maybe for projects that have that ETF aspect, that have major institutional interest, And maybe if there is some sort of an incentive that comes in, such as maybe, no capital gain tax on US based projects, I think that could really set in stone these specific projects that I'm really referring to. But when it comes to the 4 year cycle done, 4 year cycle not existing, I think it's only for a few handful coins rather than the broader market. Do let me know if you agree with that on the comments down below. But shout out to Vet saying XRP Ledger is a top 3 blockchain by market cap, yet barely anyone outside its community understands it. To me, that is incredibly bullish, and I totally agree with that as well. Shout out to Riz. PNC's announced its partnership with Ripple on September 19th, 2018. PNC began utilizing Ripple's blockchain payment platform, RippleNet, to facilitate cross-border payments for its commercial clients through its treasury management division in August of 2019. Why are we sharing this? The reason why we're sharing this is because Ripple has been building for a very long time, and we're talking about big billion-dollar companies that have been looking and partnering with Ripple, from the beginning. It's not just now that regulatory clarity is coming in. Now you're starting to see big names coming on board. This has been the case from day one. They've been building. It's not just overnight success. That's of course something that we always need to consider. And shout out to Vincent for saying this. RLUSD and the other stablecoins are the flip the switch moment for new XRPL dominant financial system. As USD stablecoins like RLUSD, USDC grow globally, non-US economies will be forced to issue local stablecoins to protect monetary sovereignty. XRPL is built for this future with native multi-asset support compliance controls and XRP as a neutral bridge liquidity. No wrappers, no bridges, just speed and finality, and XRP acts as a bridge to settle between stablecoins and liquidity provider. Ripple becomes the integrator and liquidity layer and eventually evolves into a true bank-grade infrastructure provider as XRP comes alive with 1,000s of validators. This isn't hype, it's architecture meeting macro inevitability, 5D chess playing out with decades of careful planning. Exactly, going back to my main point right here with the PNC example that I've just shared with you guys. But let's talk about the price now. So if you're looking at the dominance, I did mention this in my H bar up. The dominance has gone up a little bit over the course of the last few hours because Bitcoin did see a little bit of a minor pullback. You could see this for yourself. BTC did see a little bit of a retracement, which caused the dominance to pick up, but still, in the grand scheme of things, dominance is still down quite sharply from where we just were at the beginning of this month. If you're looking at XRP's price, let's take a look at it on an hourly perspective. You can still see we're ranging above that key support line, which was our major key resistance at one point. So, we're ranging really nicely around here. Of course, we know what happened just 2 days back. We came up to our yearly high at $3.64, but consolidating quite nicely. I think the next leg up is inevitable. It's nice that we are consolidating the way we are right now above the previous key range, major resistance that we broke out of for the first time since 2018. I like what I'm seeing here. And I think we just want to keep very close eyes on BTC as well as the dominance. If dominance continues to go down and Bitcoin starts making its move towards the upside, I am anticipating a next leg up. Of course, next week we do have the FOMC meeting. Maybe we do see market kind of leading up to that a day or two before kind of seeing a little bit more volatility coming in, but in a grand scheme of things, really liking the way XRP is consolidating. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Thank you for all your support. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.